So last night I was invited to a special screening of Pacific Rim, and I decided, hey, you know what? Let me give you guys an early review of the film so you can see or hear a little bit about what I thought on the film before it comes out. So here's my early review of Pacific Rim.
Global trace system checking brainwaves, blood pressure, pulse, respiration, temperature, metabolism. All green.
I thought it was G Gundam at first. Yeah, so sorry about that. Pacific Rim.
Everyone! Listen up! Today, at the edge of our hope, at the end of our time, we have chosen not only to believe in ourselves, but in each other.
Pacific Rim stars Charlie Hunnam, Idris Elba, Rinko Kikuchi, Charlie Day, and Ron Perlman, to name a few. And the film takes place in the future, and it deals with this portal that's opened up at the bottom of the Pacific. And through this portal come these giant creatures known as kaiju. And these kaiju are coming out and they're destroying the city. And at first, we're hitting them with rockets and everything, but we're realizing that more and more and more are coming out, and they're coming out even bigger than the ones prior to. So it's like, oh shit, like what are we gonna do? So we decide, hey, we're gonna build giant ass robots to fight these giant ass creatures, and it works. We're kicking their ass. There's different countries that are building their own kind of Jaegers, because that's what these robots are called, and they're fighting these monsters over a couple of years. Now, Charlie Hunnam's character, something happens to his character in the beginning of the film, which sort of progresses the story 5 years later after the events of the beginning of the film. So, without getting too much into spoilers, I'm just gonna say, something happened with this character. Now, the characters that stood out in this film, as far as acting goes, definitely would be Charlie Hunnam and Rinko Kikuchi and Charlie Day. These were my three favorite characters in the film. Charlie Hunnam's character was kind of like the low-key, I want to be a hero, I want to save people, don't follow directions. We've seen that before, but nevertheless, it worked for him. Rinko Kikuchi was sort of the character who was out here for revenge, and she wanted to do everything she could to get that revenge. Something happened to her in her past, and she's like, I need this. I need to be a part of this, and I'm going to do everything I can to achieve my revenge. And Charlie Day's character is hilarious. He's a doctor, and he's really obsessed with the kaiju and the brains and everything that has to do with kaijus. And watching him on scene really took the film in sort of a comedic route, because at first you're like, oh, this is just going to be about robots blowing up monsters destroying cities. Charlie Day come on screen, all that goes away, and you're laughing your ass off. Believe me, Charlie Day is definitely a standout character in this film. The graphics. When I talk about graphics, I mean the way the monsters look in the fight scenes. Man, I mean the monsters look really good. They might come off as being like kind of fake to some people, but to me they looked really good. Watching the robots fight the monsters looked excellent. It was like popping this in.
AT field, max level. I can do this for him, so he never has to pilot again.
seen Evangelion and you're watching and you go to see this film, you're gonna be like, oh shit, like it definitely reminds me of Evangelion. If you're sitting in your chair and you don't know what Evangelion is when I'm talking about it, then you need to take your ass over there, pick up the DVD and watch Evangelion because it's awesome. Now, had the monsters and the robots not interacted the way they did in this film, it probably would have got kind of boring. And the way I'm saying is that the monsters and the robots sort of had their own style. And by that I mean, like, this reminded me a lot of G Gundam. G Gundam, you had, you know, China, you had America. Same thing here. Each Jaeger you had Russia, you had China, you had America. And they had their own style of weapons. Like, there was the Australian Jaeger that reminded me of Heavy Arms from G Gundam. Like, he opened up his chest and like a bunch of rockets came out. Then you had the China one who had like razors and buzzsaws on its arm, and it was fighting and shit. It was just crazy, like how each Jaeger didn't just look the same or have the same things. I'm gonna shoot guns and everything. Each Jaeger had its own style, and I really like that about this film. Because, again, if you're an anime fan and you're looking at this, you're like, Gundam, Evangelion, like Macross, definitely Macross. So you're like, yeah, this is paying homage to things that I like. Now, the overall rating of this film, I'm definitely going to give it a 5 out of 5. I liked everything about this film. I can't even say, like, I just told you all my likes mixed up just now. But I really didn't have any dislikes. Like, the film sped up. It had a great pace. It didn't steer off nowhere else where you were like, okay, like, what happened to this and that? Everything has stayed on a straight path, and it paid homage, again, to us otakus who are out here. It didn't just say, you know what, destroy the world, monsters, aliens, blah. No, there was a deeper meaning to the story. You had, like, 2 different storylines here, and they didn't crash and burn. Like, they meshed together, and I think that's what really worked for this film. Overall, 5 out of 5 for me. Yeah, I definitely recommend that you go and see Pacific Rim. Now, I was going to see this film regardless, even if I didn't get the invite to the screening. But knowing what it is and knowing that it's so awesome, I would definitely recommend that you go out there and see this. Even if you're not a fan of otaku, even if you're not an otaku or if you're not a fan of anime or manga, just watching this robots and mechs, I should say, and monsters fight each other is awesome. And even if you're not there for the robots and the monsters fighting each other, go there for the story. The story is really good, and you're seeing 2 people from an awesome show, Sons of Anarchy. You got Ron Perlman and Charlie Hunnam on here, and they both did a really good job, even though Ron Perlman's part was kind of short. So, guys, definitely check this out. 5 out of 5 for me. Let me know what's your favorite movie that has to deal with monsters and robots, or your favorite anime that has to deal with monsters and robots. Comment below. Let me know. And again, guys, this is Sean from 4GLU, 4 Geeks Like You. Stay tuned for more reviews, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Have a good one.